92 and 93. Since we've been here back and forth, we were, kind of going back and forth until we finally got stationed. I am a UWM grad. I'm also a Vincent High School grad. And now I teach at Nicolet. So it has been a journey for me today. And I know the subject was being an intentional leader. But before I tell you about, me being an intentional leader, I just want to kind of give you my story before we kind of break to that part. So the reason that we moved to Milwaukee was due to domestic situations between my mom, my stepfather, etc. things. Started at Grand Avenue Middle School, Wisconsin Avenue, to Grand Avenue. We never really was situated in a home, so we were just kind of moving back and forth. I didn't learn to read till I was in 7th grade. All right, I didn't learn to move, and it was due to the fact of just a displacement. Moving, and so never really got situated, as a kid. So I was a product of my environment. My favorite saying is I am because I was. Due to my environment, I was always outside. I was always learning people, paying attention. And in the school system, due to the fact that I couldn't, I did what the typical boy does for my fellow educators in here. I just was active. Had charisma. I was a jokester that wouldn't sit still because I wanted to hide away from my deficiency, right? So as I'm thinking about going forward with that, I'm doing things on the street that shouldn't have been done at that time frame due to me being a product of my environment. So funny story is before, I had a cousin that got killed when we were in 7th grade, going into my, right before I was going to 8th grade, like that March, April time frame. And we and a couple of cousins and friends, we were out in the streets and we were looking for the person who did it. I didn't sleep all night. I stayed up, went to school the next day, just went straight through. I took my firearm that I had to school with me. And the funny thing about it was one of my teachers, who was Barbara Rogers, he knew the look on me. He knew the look on me. At this time, I was just starting to play sports, and he just brought it in. Hey, come here, come to my classroom, bring it in. So at this time, I didn't know that he had the MRP room. Those of you who are not familiar, that's most restricted placement for school when you're in school at that time. It's in middle school, and he just kind of brought me in, and it was just he knew the look, he knew the smell, he knew that something was going on with me. So he pulled me into the class, hugged me, got the firearm, told, just kind of talked to me and I never made promises. My first time even making a promise. Told me that if we get this thing away, will you promise to go try out for this basketball team for me? At this time, it was a police athletic lead. I didn't know that the guy that I was going to try out was a detective. His name was William Smith. He was a detective. And so he made the phone call then. And after I kind of broke down and told him what was going on, and I made a promise that I would play for this team. So I started playing with this team, right? And so I take off. I'm very athletic. Remember, I told you I was always outside. I played all day, from sun up to sundown. I ran, I played, which built a catalyst of muscle memory that got me very athletic. And so as I started taking off in the athletic field, I had Catherine Miles. Now, Catherine Miles was an administrator at Grand Avenue, so every time they got tired of suspending me, because again, I'm playing sports and I'm getting more and more active. And she says, I'm not sending you home no more. Your mom works 2 jobs. I'm not sending you. You're gonna sit here. What's the thing? She put something in front of me and say, read this. Of course, I'm not reading this. I'm not gonna do this. This is not something I'm gonna do. She said, well, you're just gonna sit here in my office all day because I'm not sending you home. I'm not calling your mom up to to school anymore. So I'm like, all right, what scheme can I get out next? Because she's not going to send me home. I can't get back to the neighborhood. So what she did is she grabbed about 10 Jet magazines, 10, what's the other one? Essence magazines. And she had a stack of them in her office. And she sat there with me and said, hey, and started teaching me how to read. Started teaching me how to read. And so now the behavior things came to a halt more because now I am getting involved with athletics. I'm playing on one of the top AAU. AAU was just really getting started, and I was playing on one of the top AAU teams in the program. And it kind of took off from there. But now I'm going to rewind, right? Because I told you we were going through domestic things with the family. And, place to play, so we ended up at Sojourner Truth House. Okay, and at this time, I'm 11 years old. All right, so I'm at Sojourner Truth House. We're looking for placement, a place for battered women. And I met someone there at that time frame, and it just reached me till today because at this time frame now, I'm in an unfamiliar place. There's other women around, it's just kids, but someone saw some leadership in me there. I said, hey, what can I do? Can I help clean? Can I help do something? Because I can't sleep. And, you had to have your area with your kid. You just had, you couldn't be all over the place like you had your room. And I'm like, hey, I got ADHD. At this time, I didn't know it. I'm saying, hey, I cannot stay in this room. Can I help you do something? Can I help you do something? So she said, you know what? You can come down here with me. You can come down to the basement and you can help me stack these canned goods. You can help me stack these canned goods. And when you get done with that, let's see if you can get the other kids to help you. I said, okay, that's a good thing. So I get my brothers and sisters and I get the other kids in there to help, stack the canned goods. So we do a job. She comes say, that was a wonderful job. I say, well, we need something else to do. She says, well, you can help in the kitchen. You can help when they get done with the meeting, you can go in there and help mop, clean up. I said, okay, good. I can help clean up. So next thing you know, I go in there. Because remember, I had been up all night and she said to give me things to do. So I'm asleep on the mop because I had been, working, keeping me busy. So that young lady name at that time was Dolly. And I'm going to come back. It's a full story, so which I'm doing this. And so I'm going to fast forward you back to starting playing ball. I go to Vincent High School. And so now at this time, I'm trying to sell drugs. I'm trying to do things to keep our new place that we lived in. At that time, the North Meadows was considered condominiums. It was we had 4 bedrooms, we had 2.5 bathrooms, spacious, playground in the back. And I'm still trying to keep up with everyone else. I'm trying to sell drugs. And I was telling you, I'm taking off, I'm getting better as a player. And one of the drug dealers who was in the area at that time, he comes to me, it's right after like my first varsity game as a freshman. And he says, hey man, you don't need to be doing this. Like, I'll give you what you need to help out with your family, etc. But this ain't the route you want to go, I'm telling you. And if I catch you or hear of you doing this again, I'm gonna do something to you. So this time I'm like, man, I'm one of your best workers. Like, what do you mean? So I took it serious. So now I'm getting better in basketball, and Vincent wins their first state championship. I'm a freshman, and we win. I come back, to get to the neighborhood to celebrate and show everybody, like, hey, you see me on TV? Did we do that? That gentleman had just got arrested 2 hours before I got home. 2 hours before I got home. And so now I'm steady looking for people to look to because of the situation in my environment. And now I get my high school coach, Gary DePerry, Tom Diener, John Allen, Gloria Erkins, which was our principal at that time. They were starting to see things in me. They were starting to see leadership. They were starting to see how I can get people to do stuff, how I can get help, how I can rally troops, etc. And so we started student council. We started working at Lutheran Manor, which is on 99th and I want to say Hampton. I went with 3 kids at first, with 3 other kids, and I started getting other kids to come help with the elders. Like it became a thing that once a month, we started with 3. I think by the end of the year, we finished with about 20 kids. That it was turned to a field trip a month that we were going to help. I was loving the feeling of it. I was, I would love. It was the best. Golden Girls was one of my favorite shows growing up. And so, if you wanted free comedy, I filled out. If you got to get to this nursing home to get the best comedy you're gonna get, it was the best thing you're gonna get. And so now leadership, I'm starting to do more and more little things. I'm starting to do things with Special Olympics. Now adults in the building are saying, hey, James, can you get this group to do this? Can you get this group to help that? Can you do that? And I'm like, okay, no problem, because now everyone is loving the feeling that they're getting from that. And now that first intent is kicking in now. Now I'm intentional about how I'm going to get some more kids and some more group of us, because I want everybody to feel this feeling of the love, of the wisdom, etc., from the elders. So, long story short, I keep doing that through Vincent High School. Got a lot of accolades, Mr. Wright Award, etc. Built a partnership with Lutheran Manor that we kept doing that up until I graduated. And they kept it going for about 5 or 6 years after I graduated. And then I go to UW Milwaukee. So now I'm a phenom basketball player. I only lost 8 games in high school, won 92 games or 98 games or something of that nature. And so now I'm a community hero because I'm on TV. Anytime someone's on TV for that time frame with no social media, it's a good thing. So I signed with University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. I played for Bo Ryan my first year. I get freshman of the year. And then he left and go to Wisconsin, and Coach Pearl comes. And that's my sophomore year. I'm having an amazing season, and I break my shin. The year I entered the draft, I break my shin. Doctor said I'll never play again. So, yes. But through perseverance and my community that I built and got going, my high school coach, like all those folks that I had reached out to, all kept me in place to make sure that I finished, through that. So I redshirted, returned back to play my junior, senior year. Senior year, I was the captain of the team, and I'm leading them to the Sweet 16, which is the furthest the school has been in school history. All right? So I fast forward a little bit more. So now I go to play overseas. So that same leg that I broke was it just kept foaming up. It just kept bothering me. I didn't get a chance to really get back. And I was in a third world country. I was in South America. So they were still trying to give me an x-ray on your knee and shin, and that's something you can't do. So when I got back, I was home for the break, and my mentor, who helped me through Vincent, Chris Griffin, rest in peace, he was the girls' coach then, and he kind of helped me along the way. So he passed when I was home over the Christmas break, and something told me, I was talking to my agent. I'm saying, hey, I want to, am I going to be able to go back? Am I going to be able to continue playing? And I talked to my mom, and she said, just pray about it. So I'm praying. I'm like, hey, because there's money on the line now. I got a chance to help my family. And something said, stay home. So I stayed home, and myself and Marcus Hines, another coach, stepped in for him. That following year, his daughter came because I wanted to do for his daughter what he did for me. I wanted to make sure she got through, all the trials and tribulations of basketball. She was a highly decorated player. She also won 3 state championships as a young lady, so I got a chance to coach and lead these young ladies to 3 state championships. During that process, at that time frame, with me staying, we ended up sending 27 girls Division I within that reign of me being a high school coach. And when I think about those things, I'm going to the leaders, the people in the community, the Larry Nance, the Larry Reeds, the Garys, the Eddie Jones. Like, these were all men in the community. When I was doing all those things, they were grabbing, saying, hey, 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 hey. So I had a lot of 8-foot angels around me, as I like to say. So now as I go, I'm doing that, I'm teaching, I'm reaching, I'm teaching. And like now, I was a special ed teacher, and I'm like, hey, I don't think I want to do this anymore. This is a tough thing here, and I'm asking now, I'm like, hey, God, maybe I should change my occupation. Do I want to do something different? What can I do to help? Again, prayer. I'm praying. I'm in faith. I'm like, hey, Lord, I'm going through all this. I'm like, hey, I'm going through so much, but if I'm the helper, why did the helper get penalized? Why am I going through the trials and tribulation if I'm your help? And so I'm steady asking. Then I finally said, God, I'm not going to question. Because now those leaders and all those people that I named who I giving you before, they were all the same. They were all elders of me. They were all intentional in their leadership. They were all intentional of finding that next person that can be a leader. And so as I grasp that and I'm coming up with how I'm going to do things as a teacher, as a coach, I have range. I noticed, as I told you before, I had range. I knew how to manipulate. I knew how to talk to kids. I knew how to gather the troops. And so as I started teaching and coaching, I made that a thing of no matter what school I went to, that everyone can serve. Everyone, and it's a thing, it's funny because I was talking to a friend the other day, Miss Nancy, and we were talking about gold and money. And I told her, Dwayne Wade, I played with some of these top guys in the NBA, and I'm saying, and I'm in a funk, I'm like, look, here I am, these guys are all retiring now and making millions, and I'm a teacher. I'm sitting here as a teacher. And I said, and she gave me some perspective of, but the lives that you've changed and helped goes farther greater than those millions, which goes to, I would say, the comment of money and gold. And I gave it a breakdown. When I say gold is what I call elders. Gold is who I call youth. So within this intentional process, if you can think about those two people, you can forget about yourself, which makes you selfless, which takes all the pressure and anxiety about whatever may be going on in your life, etc., if you're giving time to those, because people forget about our elders, and then people forget about our youth. We chastise them, but sometimes just time with them can go so far. So what I started doing is now teaching at Nicolet, with teaching and coaching all my athletes, is mandated that we're doing community service. We just finished things with Habitat for Humanity. I'm also the BSU advisor. BSU just did a food service with Northcott Neighborhood Center, where we help serve on Thanksgiving. And now my girls' basketball team, they're like, Coach Wright, you know how girls are. Coach Wright, everybody want to do what we're doing now. Now the soccer team wants to do this, the boys' basketball team wants to do this. And I'm laughing. They were like, they can't have you. And so I'm telling them, I'm saying, hey, things are marching in the right direction because we got more people that are wanting to help others now. Our BSU has a toy drive right now for kids from 8 to 6 years old. 6 weeks to 8 to 10 years old that we're doing for the Next Door Foundation. And now it's a competition of who can help the most now. And this is what hasn't happened in Nicolet. So my girls keep saying, well, why you keep smiling? We're serious. You can't go to, listen, I got one wife. Erica Wright is at home. You guys can't tell me what I'm going to do. But it's funny. But within this, Nicolet is becoming like it's home now. You know, we have a great community. We have people that are coming back. We have people that are just buying in because now we got a group of kids and adults are even coming, to start to do things, and they're being intentional on the others. And I'm asking God, I'm like, God, all right, I'm gonna keep going. All right, what do you need? And all he said is just keep working. Keep working, take your faith walk, and be intentional in it. And so now when I go through my trials and tribulation, all the things I've been about, that I've been through, that I persevered through, the last thing is my wife. More than anything, my wife is the accountability piece. Those of you married, she's the accountability piece. She's the push, she's the backbone. She's blessed me with 2 sets of twins. Wow. She's blessed me with 2 sets of twins. And oh man, it's a journey. It's never a dull moment. It's never a dull moment. And I would be a fool to say that I wouldn't be able to do none of it without her, because she's supporting. She's definitely helped me come up with plans and different things that we can do to be able to help. But each person that I spoke of, all have been a part of a community that I built around myself, that I don't have to wait on the government. I don't have to wait on an alderman or somebody to come and say, hey, we got to do this. These are things that we can do on our own. We all get caught up in our everyday lives to where we forget about the elders and the youth. Because life is life, and we're all living our lives. We're all doing things to that. So as we're taking our journey, I'm just asking people to think about gold. Not the flash, but real gold, which is our elders, which is wisdom, which is our youth, so they can get to wisdom. Everybody want to talk about all these things that's going on in every other continent, every other place than here. We can fix our own problems as the people. And that just starts from caring with each other, being intentional about how we treat each other, but just building you a team of helpers. It's such a great feeling, and it starts with your church home, your neighborhood, et cetera. And I just think that no one has to tell you how to do that. That's something that you learn. I can learn more about you from being next to you. And what we get back of, we get a greater space, greater place. And now you have the joy and the love inside of you that you've gotten, but also is radiating out from within that. And I'm a firm believer in teamwork makes the dream work. As I tell people, I have 11 state championships. I have 6 as a player, and 5 as a coach. And as I think about all those things in these people, I'm thinking they all have something in common. Energy. They have an energy, an intentional energy about thinking to the person to the left and right of you. Elders, youth. 5 people doing that, it can change so many things, so many people, so many lives from within. That doesn't cost $1. That doesn't cost you anything but your time. That's the only thing that we should be mad about or should be arguing about in life about anything is our time. What do we do with our time? Because the best thing that you can give your time is, the best thing you can give a person is your time. The joke I joke with the guys' basketball team as being a mentor as they're going through their little phase, and I tell them all the same message. You got your whole life for all that stuff. Everybody's the same. Women all the same. If you think about all your girlfriends, guys in here, what do they all say they want? Time. Your time is so valuable, but how you give it is so important. So as we're going through our journey, as we're going through our lives, build you a group of helpers. Build you a group of friends outside of social media, outside of just the good old boys club, outside of these things all work together common. You don't have to be black, you don't have to be white. This is a common goal because it's a common thing that we're all going through. It's the elephant in the room. But as a team, there's no color. The heart has no color, it has one color, and we all have that same color. With that, don't be afraid. Be intentional in our walk and our steps. Be intentional about our day-to-day. All I can ask, because the good thing about it is, as Pat came and seen, it's funny because I'm glad you stayed. Colleague, UWM alumni, it was great to see a familiar face, and it's been almost, 30 years now? Time flies. I just want to keep thinking about time and intention. And you never know how things are going to come back full circle. Miss Dolly has been a radiant in my life, and we fall out apart. What she did for myself and my family, it wasn't just her job. It was the fact that she took a chance on me to feed into me, to pour into me, and something so small can return to something so large. I'm 6'5", 265 pounds now. At that time, I was probably 5'6", a bit of 85 pounds. But every person, be intentional about pouring into someone, because you never know how it's going to come full circle, and it can come back full circle. The bloodline is in the youth. So as you're an elder, that full circle that you gave, it can give you life more and put more into your spirit as you're going forward. So that pour that you're pouring into now, let's be intentional in that, all right? Let's be intentional. Let's make somebody remember you for your pouring too, for the help of others. Not about what you gave them, but what you poured into them, because that gold right there holds more and more shine and gratification than anything. That's all I can give you right now. Also, as the BSU Council, we're actually doing our first HBCU tour. Since in Nicolet, first time as ever, we also actually have up to 75 members in the Black Student Union now at our school. First time that we're going to do a historical Black college tour since 1955. Our seniors right now have an ACT average of a 23. The national average is a 19. And so now as I am trying to open up more doors and resources for these kids, I'm being intentional about how we're fundraising, we're looking for sponsorship, we're looking for all these different things so we can make this first thing happen because they're worth it. That's why I'm intentional about giving them more opportunity to see things outside Wisconsin, et cetera, because you can leave a spot everywhere, you're still Nicolet. And so as we push, if you guys all come in and stop in and see us, our girls basketball team is doing good right now. And just to see the great things we have going on in the school, I love to see you in this circle as we're going forward in life and in this journey of being intentional in our walk, in our faith walk. So thank you guys for your time. I'm open for any questions or anything you might have. Yes. So I started with the PAL Spurs. PAL Spurs started with that, and then I finished with development through athletics, which was DTA at that time frame. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I had a cousin who started at Nicolet and ended up graduating from Homestead. His mother was a teacher, and he graduated without knowing how to read.
Mm.
He taught himself how to read after school. So what were the things that were not, what was the organization that was used that helped you read?
So that's a good question. So the organization, it was one that actually was it was a child care center that was right over here in the plaza on Port Washington Road. I forget the name of it. But what happened was it was frowned upon because one, I was an athlete. I was starting that journey of being an athlete. And then it was shame. So that's the acting out, all the different things, or finding different ways to get out of stuff and to get into stuff. But I started myself. Like after Ms. Miles started giving me phonemes, et cetera, and breaking down, that kind of took off from there. I kind of got going from there. So I'm pretty sure he was a quiet kid. He got under the radar because, yeah, but just, then I started asking. Like I'm an avid reader now. Like now, they don't use nerd no more, but I am a book worm now. Like I think right now I'm doing Think and Grow with Napoleon Hill with the what is it? Think and Rich, Think and Be Rich. One or the other. But I'm going through it now, so it's like I'm also in school to get a master's now in administration. So I'm like now I can't put it down. Now, anytime in between something, I'm here. I don't have social media. I don't have any of those things. It's my kids' book, kids' book, kids' book, kids' book, in that order and vice versa. But I do have a lot of friends now and know a lot of different programs that do so. So afterwards, if he still needs help, I'm pretty sure we have 5 to 10 that we can get him help with it. He's good? Okay. Yes, sir.
How is Nicolet fundraising to support the HBCU tour?
So right now, we've been doing our own fundraising so far as different fundraisers that we bring through the school. Right now, we're trying to work with something with Culver's. And we also have been sending out sponsorship letters for anyone who might want to contribute to help out the cause. I think right now we have 15,000 raised. We have 40 students going. And then there's 2,000 per kid that is going. So this is a flight in March 30th to April 2nd. We'll fly to Baltimore. We're going to visit 7 to 8 schools. Hampton, Howard, Delaware, um, Hampton, Morgan, I want to say Morgan State, but we have about 7, 8 schools. But to answer your question right now, they're helping publicize it, but outside of that, it's a us thing. It's us thing. Mark, yes.
I'm going to volunteer our friend Nancy to receive one of those letters, which then could be shared in some way with everybody and with the outreach committee.
Okay.
Because I have a feeling there might be some interest.
Okay, I appreciate that. I will make sure of that. I will make sure of that. Anyone else? I mean, I'm here. I'm all yours. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
I just want to say, my father, rest in peace, Michael Larkin, used to be at the homework club at Sojourner Truth.
So I don't forget. So I remember the name
Yeah,
of
but
that.
he had a student that he took under his wing, and my dad was a typical 1960s madman. He worked at IBM, had his varsities at lunch and things, but for some reason he took JJ under his wing
Yes.
and poured himself into him. And my dad isn't that kind of a person
Yeah,
usually,
yeah.
but for all you guys know him,
Yeah.
knew him. But it's so easy, and to this day, like JJ couldn't come to the memorial, but they connected and they
Yes.
stayed in touch, and he's now in his 30s with kids of his own, and it's just amazing what just a little thing, even a madman, can do to raise up.
Man, kudos to him because yes, I'm telling you, teamwork makes the dream work. So just imagine 5 more of your dads in one spot. How many mountains we can move with that, you know?
So anyone can do it.
Yes.
How long have you been at Nicolet?
This is my 3rd year. This is my 3rd year, so I'm fresh. I started at Vincent High School to Sherwood to Nicolet. Yes, yes, sir.
So you mentioned as an athlete and acting up, you don't need to read early on, right? Because you're an athlete.
Yeah.
What made you decide that you're going to change your life, and how is it that you're different than?
So that's a good question. So it's a different time frame because now they have more resources now. But that time frame for myself, once I started traveling, I tell people you learn more about yourself when those of you who have traveled. You learn more. As a matter of fact, kids that travel early do better on standardized tests, any kind of test, etc., because it's a connection. So I was a part of my community. I didn't see anything or anyone like myself that was in the books that they were trying to get me to learn. And so it's a disconnect automatically. What changed my life on it is I started traveling. I started getting around other guys from different regions. You know, I think by my freshman year, I had maybe been to about 12 different states at that time. So now I'm getting around guys and different athletes, and I'm like, wait a minute, you guys don't act like that? Oh, this is what we're supposed to do? This is how we're supposed to conduct ourselves? This is how we're supposed to carry ourselves? And so as, you know, my family did what they could. You know, my mom, like I said, she worked 2 to 3 jobs, took in, you know, my dad's kids that wasn't hers. Like, so it was just a bunch of people outside. So I wanted to do more. And that scare that I got from that gentleman when I was trying to, you know, sell drugs, that was a scare for me. That was a scare for me. And then I started feeling bad about the bad things I was doing once I learned about the right. So that's what changed and triggered it as I started going forward, as I was introduced to the right. Some kids never get out their neighborhoods outside of going to school and back to their neighborhoods. That's what they call a product of your environment. And from my standpoint, I had never been around a Caucasian until I moved to Milwaukee. Or Mexican. We were perfectly healthy kids. We didn't go to doctors. Our teachers were minority teachers. So outside of my neighborhood, we didn't leave outside our neighborhoods. So you only know what your neighborhood and the streets teach you until you get to the table to learn that these things are different. So that's what changed it. Yes. Did you have something? Yeah, I thought you did. Okay.
James, thank you so much for being here today. We sure appreciate it.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for having me. Thank you all for having me. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's the man who said you couldn't do that anymore.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm gonna get you there. What's your name again?
Ira.
Ira?
Liddell.
Liddell. So let me shake your hand, because I need your energy. I appreciate you. Yes.
My cousin, he's very gifted
Okay.
mechanically.
Okay.
So he would listen to his brother reading, and he'd listen.
Yeah, listen to him,
But
and that's
he couldn't read anything.
yes.
So
Well, he's gonna get better. Time is fading, and time to change. Like they have all these different things that can help. So hopefully he can just keep getting.
yeah, there's so many learning differences.
Thank you so much.
Enjoyed the talk.
Appreciate you.
My ex-wife, when we lived in Whitefish Bay, taught at Robert.
Yes.
And she said, you really don't know what the gap is between where we live in Whitefish Bay and the kids that go there. She said, until she could see things. But then one of her students came up and says, I said to her, you mean you don't hear gunshots at night at your place?
Yeah.
She said, that just really opened my eyes. And when I heard that, I said, wow. And it was like, that's like 10, 15 blocks away from where we live. It's,
Yes.
it's, we just, we compartmentalize.
Yes.
And so, what you said about traveling, that's what we all need to do. We need to actually see what the other people's shoes are like, that they, the trail they're walking.
It creates a whole different understanding and openness. I like to say
Yeah.
for folks.
Well, doing a good job, and I hope, are you going to go to Emory?
So, no, we're going to North Carolina A&T, Winston-Salem, Hampton, Howard, Morgan State, Delaware State, and Norfolk State.
Because that's in Emory's in Atlanta.
Yeah, so the first one, but we're going to do it again. That's why this first one has to happen, because then we'll open it up, for the others.
Okay, and those are all sort of
In the same area.
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
The reason I asked that odd question about
Yes.
AAU,
Yeah.
so many of your teammates over the years are now community leaders. I played basketball, and I'm surprised that Deontay Tatum, I played here for years.
One of my best friends.
I've been to
Remember.
he bought that church on
Yep.
Good Hope.
Yep.
Rick Brown.
Brought him in. I brought those guys to Benson.
Really?
I was the reason they came. I wanted them to come to Benson.
Okay, and then Joey Tucker.
One of my best friends now.
Yeah, he's
in his
a
wedding.
lovely man. I played with all those guys when they were in grade school.
Yeah. So you were playing out at William Stimmick.
Brookfield.
Yeah,
Brookfield.
Brookfield.
Rick Stimmick.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought.
Thank you guys. So thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Well done.
Thank you. I
Very
appreciate
good.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
We're having the same conversations in our own house with our kids.
Anytime.
You don't need to look at other people and judge them. I want you to work here.
That's right. That's right.
James, thank you.
No problem, man. I appreciate it, man. Anytime.
It means a lot.
We are not very good at sports. I graduated in '92, so
Oh, that's
Nicolet
okay.
was not that great.
It's okay. Hey, we're gonna do well now. So
Yes, you have. Can I ask you a question? Has people in PR station ever reached out to you? Have you talked to anyone at that station?
I've sent something to them.
Okay.
I haven't received anything back.
Okay. Well, I work there.
Okay.
I'm not on the content side, but I will find a way to send it to our story ideas
Okay.
because I think that would be awesome. So if
Person.
someone reaches out to you.
I appreciate it. I thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
So we have a check for you, but we sort of slipped up and don't today. We are instinct. I mean, it's whatever you want. It is for you. If you want it to be to a different organization
Hi, Dolly.
of charitable, and we can do it, but it is for you. But how would you like it made out to you? It's $200. You should.
Well, that's
it's
for me.
you.
That's
I agree. I agree. Because I suspect we'll be able to do something for the college trip too.
That's fine.
So, all right, we'll get it. Sorry about that. Nancy and I both said, "Oops, we didn't think about this."
No, it's
So,
okay. We worked it out.
Yeah,
We worked it out.
yeah, we'll get it to you.
As he was talking, that's why I turned and looked at you and said, oops,
No,
outreach.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but the forum committee has
Yeah, that's different.
honorarium for speakers, but Nancy and I kind of both forgot.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we'll get it to you this week. So
Okay, no
you were
problem. Appreciate it.
you were unbelievable. I didn't want to just ask this, but you're a very self-aware. Even as a kid, you were pretty honest with yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, most kids are not. I mean, they find ways to, it's this, it's that.
Oh, my grandmother, my grandmother
Yeah.
she was on me early.
Yep.
Help with this, help with that. So automatically I was looking to help them. It's funny because my son is like that now. Like he's James, he
when that you couldn't read, to be honest and say, I can't.
Yeah.
Or to realize that the gun incident was a really close call and
Yes.
that you needed to shape up. A lot of
Yes.
kids aren't
Yes.
able to be that self-aware,
Yes.
particularly at a young age.
Yes.
So good
Yes.
for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But I don't believe that God makes mistakes. And like I said, the people that are around, they radiate on you for some way.
But you still have to have it inside yourself.
Yes, you still got to want to do the one.
Yeah.
Know how. Yeah.
A credit to you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Very gracious, very
Yes.
comfortable,
Even though she's wearing a Bears hat.
Yeah, we hold it
Oh,
against
I
her.
don't know
We've been
about
holding
that.
it against her.
That must be,
Yes.
you must have just found that somewhere.
Yeah, we don't
So
have
when
to-
you said you're watching the game, are you going to watch it to cheer the Bears?
Yes.
Oh, okay, why? Tell us why.
Because my mom is from Radford.
Oh, okay.
We were Bears fans.
Okay.
So we're house invited, man.
Do you have to watch it?
But she's not in
It does for her.
You're all watching
Unfortunately,
together.
we have a wedding to go to for Coach T.
Yeah.
So we're going to.
Anyways, I thought you were going to say playground
Nice to
warriors.
meet you.
Oh,
Because those other guys
Thanks
all
for
play.
sharing
They were all under me. So, but I still was intact with them. And then, like I said, we're all best, like Coach today. Like that's our village. Those guys. Tatum, same thing. I helped him get started with his stuff when he got back. So it's a joy of everything.
Here's a funny story. Because Joe, he has an older brother or a younger brother?
Older.
Older
He's the
brother.
youngest. Yeah.
So he would come and play with us with Stemick and us when he was in grade school. And anyways, we'd play and play to 15 and sit down.
Yeah.
Get the next 15 out. And he would never sit down.
Yeah.
He would just
Keep playing.
keep playing and shooting around. So then all my old white friends are all sitting there and he'd say, watch this. And you stand 2 feet, go up and dunk it.
Yeah.
And so I would dunk with him, but I got to take a
okay.
rush.
Somehow I was thinking
start.
it was the
And I was
Mighty
taller
Lions.
than him. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it was Detroit
Yes.
thing.
Those
Okay,
guys.
the
And he has
Bears,
a great
that's
thing
right.
going on for
Right.
himself now, man.
Because
He's in
they're
a great
number one
situation
right
to help.
now.
And I say I call him for anything, and they're great guys, man.
Wrong thing. I hope we
No, he
win.
has that going now, and now he has
We
over
gotta
600
win.
properties that he's doing because he got
We gotta win.
a grant with the city. So he's responsible for the mow and shovel. Yes, so he has that going. He just opened up a lounge. So, and he's now doing color commentating for also for UWM.
She's a Bears fan.
One question I didn't know how we would play. He said, so many of your peers are all community leaders.
Yeah.
How'd that happen? Well, of course, but
But that's like holding each other accountable. That started our brotherhood, holding each other accountable, and want to give back. We knew we had the power of leadership as men athletes. We figured that out early.
right.
So it's just started contributing, and then when guys started finishing their careers, it was second nature.
Yeah.
Nobody get hurt.
Yeah.
And I forgot to ask her
Yeah.
for the
Yep.
I was funny. His shot.
All right, Tony.
Huge arc. Huge arc.
Anyways, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Until next time. Thank you. Come on and see us anytime.